everyone, it is Alyssa from Planet Alyssa, and since last week my office has only gotten messier. The good news is, hopefully next week I'll actually get to clean it. But I've been really busy. As you know, it is the busiest time of year for those of us who sell stuff, and I sell on Amazon, as you know, so really the whole past week since I last spoke to you, I've just been doing all kinds of Amazon stuff. But the good news is, in a little bit, I will be packing up to ship off my last batch of, fourth quarter goodies for Amazon, and then I'm doing a little bit of a staycation here. I'll still be here. I'll be, all my stores will be open. I'll be listing stuff on Etsy, but the craziness will be done and I'll maybe be able to catch up on some things. But in the meantime, I did sell stuff on Etsy this week. I exceeded my $200 goal. I sold 14 items for a total of $260 this week. So that's very nice, especially since I've barely listed anything this week, just because it's been so crazy and so busy. But I will go ahead and show you each of the items that I sold, and keep in mind the price that you see is just the selling price of the item, so it doesn't include any fees the buyer paid to have the item shipped to them. It doesn't include any fees that I paid to Etsy or paid to purchase the item. But here are the 14 items that I sold this week. First item that I sold was this vintage plastic Shirt Tails lunchbox. It sold for $18. This was the lunchbox only. It didn't come with a thermos. I don't know if it originally did, but this did not have a thermos with it. I think I picked this up at a yard sale. I feel like it wasn't too long ago, but I might have had it a while. I can't remember. I sold this lot of vintage recipe booklets for $12. It's sort of a mixed lot. They're all these staple bound recipe booklets from, I guess, 1960s-ish, 1960s, 1950s. These I think I picked up in a lot at an auction with some other stuff, and these had some great, campy vintage illustrations, so I put them together and sold them as a lot. And these were some vintage shoe brushes, wood-handled brushes, which I sold for $20. They're used, they have, as you could see, polish and wear on them. These were actually in a shoe kit box that I picked up at a church sale over the summer. Sold the box already, and I decided to sell the brushes separately. So I sold these for $20. Did I say that already? I might have. What was kind of cool about these is they're getting used, I guess, for a movie prop, because the address was, for set decoration for a movie that's apparently being worked on. And this is a vintage puzzle. It's a jigsaw puzzle, map of the United States, Disney branded. It sold for $24. I'm thinking, this one's one that didn't have too many pieces, so I did put it together to test it, and I feel like it wasn't complete. I feel like there was I'm thinking, I don't know why I remember this, but I'm thinking it was Vermont and New Hampshire was a single piece, and I think that piece was missing. I don't know why I can remember that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. As far as where I got this, I think this was something that came in an auction lot. I was buying something else and this came with it, so I, decided it was cool enough to list too. This is maybe the coolest thing I sold this week. It's also the most expensive thing I sold this week. It's a vintage Hungarian canteen. It sold for $40. Pretty ornate. It's got fur and leather, and it's got a braided leather strap. It's got a wood cap. Really neat piece, which I managed to find in a thrift store. I don't know. I don't usually come across something this cool in a thrift store, but there it was, so I had to snatch it up. And then I sold this little kitty figurine for $5. This figurine was imperfect, so I noted that in the listing, and it's really cute, kind of fun. It's blue. You don't normally find blue cats, but it did have some damage. Looks like it might have originally had chain attached to it, because part of the chain is there. And I think this is something that came in an auction lot too. Again, wasn't necessarily buying this, but it came with other stuff I was buying. And then this is a vintage metal souvenir tray from New Jersey, my home state. Sold for $20. It's pretty cool. It has a map of the state with different towns and attractions marked on it, and in a pretty kind of like orchid pink, orchid purple kind of color. This was something I picked up at a yard sale, well, a fundraiser yard sale thing. That was early fall, I guess. And then I sold this item as well as the next item you're going to see to the same buyer. This is a vintage Play School, the old woman who lived in a shoe toy set, which sold for $25. This is wood, painted wood, and it's the shape of a shoe, and then you have to put the little people, the old woman and her children, fit them through the holes or whatever. Plus there's, lacing so you can learn to tie shoes and stuff like that. I think this came from an auction. And then I sold this wood box with a little handle, a little latch on it for $20. As far as the size, this is a little bit smaller than what I would call like a standard 45 records box. It's something I picked up at a yard sale back the end of the summer, early fall. And it's not in perfect condition. As you can see, it has some wear to it. And this is a vintage recipe file. I picked this up at a thrift store. This sold for $15. It's not really a book. It kind of looks like a book in this picture, but it's just a file, like an accordion file type thing for storing different recipes. And I sold some vintage playing cards. This was a double set, which sold for $14. There's 2 full decks of cards in a box, in a plastic box. These have an illustration, like a nautical type thing. They were signed Lionel Barrymore. I don't know if he's, a famous artist, illustrator, but they were pretty cool. I don't remember where I picked them up. And this is a Christmas decor item. It's a pair of vintage votive-sized candle holders that are made to kind of look like old-fashioned street lamps. So they're plastic, and then they actually have like a glass votive holder inside the plastic. And the pair sold for $12. I think this was something that came from an auction too, like in a lot with some other stuff. And then I sold this vintage trivet for $10. It's got a Pennsylvania Dutch theme to it with different hex signs and, different Pennsylvania Dutch sayings. And where did I pick this one up? I don't remember where I got this. And finally this week I sold this vintage meter line tester. It was something that guys testing the telephone lines used to use. It was made by Bell or issued by Bell. Sold for $25. I picked this up in a thrift store. This was actually, my boyfriend was with me, and in fact, we made a haul video. It's the one haul video he's been in. But he's the one that found this at the thrift store. I wasn't so sure about it because it was priced kind of high, but it did end up selling, so that's good. I'll have to let him know that he made me a few bucks. Yeah, so that's everything I sold this week. So thank you everyone for watching. I do put out these videos every week showing the different vintage items that I've sold in my Etsy shop, Planned Alissa. Do try to get some other videos out on selling online. I haven't lately been making too many videos just because I have been busy, but hopefully I'll be able to catch up on that. I'm due to make a merch video for my merch sales for November, which was so far my best month of the year. So for those of you who are interested in Amazon merch, look for that. And I'll try to get some other videos out for you guys as well. In the meantime, I hope your sales are going really well, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Happy selling, everyone!